Okay. Hello out there in podcast world and on YouTube. This is ReNew Gurus, your source for all things in energy policy and politics in Missouri and beyond. I'm Executive Director of ReNew Missouri, James Owen, coming to you live on tape from the Faughn Media
There you go.
Studios in Jefferson City. This is very different. I have never really done a setup like this before, but I was down here in Jefferson City doing an appearance on This Week in Missouri Politics. Our friend Scott Faughn was generous enough to let us use his studios to talk about the legislature, talk about elections, and kind of generally talk about like how everything's shaking out for the next legislative session. Scott, thanks for being on here.
Always so fun. This is maybe the third or fourth time we've done this.
I
Always
think
a
it's
good
fourth.
time. Always
Yeah.
a good time, man.
Although I sometimes have you on when I substitute for Scott, Simon Rose, and
Yes.
we were on there too. I got to do that sometime this summer as well. So it's late, it's July, but I did want to kind of talk a little bit about the legislative session of 2026. There was a lot going on. There was a lot of productivity compared to a lot of other sessions previously. What are your big takeaways from where we're at in Jefferson City and in the state after the session last year?
Well, my takeaway from the individual session is the Republicans can get a lot of reform accomplished when they stop trying to run people's lives. Now, whether you like that reform or not, I thought they were very successful at reforming a lot of state government and making a lot of actual substantive changes. And again, whether you like the changes or not, it's probably dependent upon your political view or whatever, where you live in the state, however you want to look at it. But I do think it is impressive what they can do when they stop trying to run people's lives.
So can you give an example of what you think they did that you see as significant as far as like that topic about reforming government?
A ton of things that are not sweeping things. Very few things are going to touch everyone.
Right.
But a lot of things are going to impact government that probably needed. Renewing licenses. People we talk about nobody moves to Missouri, which is mathematically true. Part of it is it's very hard to move here if you're a professional. Physical therapist, take your pick of whatever professional degree you have.
Yeah.
You may be licensed in good standing in West Virginia and you want to move to Missouri for a better job, but by God, not that many people can sit 6 weeks without an income while they go through a bunch of bureaucratic BS paperwork. They've shortened that, and I think those are good things. And I think there's a ton of stuff with MoDOT, getting some regulations out of their way so they can get things done. I think with small cell nuclear, some stuff I'm sure are in the bailiwick of things that your folks care about. They passed some things that or they started some initiatives that can actually explore that as a viable option.
Right.
Again, a lot the reforms are, if you like them, great. Everybody's got an opinion on these things, but I thought they were actually pretty successful as a governing party, which they generally are not. But the big thing is they came in last session and did an abortion thing, and my hope is, however the abortion thing comes out in November, the first day of session, just PQ some abortion stuff, put it on the ballot for 2 years later and say, see you later. Go after it. I just think there'd be so much, if the Missouri Republican Party, if they could just take abortion off the table like they did last session, and just say, okay, let's put another ban on the ballot. If this ban doesn't pass, just go back and do it again, and say, okay, here you go, done. And then I think it's better government for everybody. And again, you can actually get into the arena of ideas when every single thing isn't about abortion. They can do better. They do a better job.
So you think that's been the big impediment? Do you think it has anything to do with the personalities and leadership? I
think the darkest day that I've ever seen in the Missouri Senate was last September. This joke of an IP reform. Yeah. The Missouri Senate, I sat there, brought up these constitutional conservatives, whatever the hell that means anymore. I mean, if you're willing to buy that, I got some oceanfront property in West Butler County to sell you. They brought up an amendment to the Constitution. Yeah. An amendment to the Constitution. Without 1 second of debate, PQ didn't put it on the ballot. And it is one of the dumbest. I'm actually for IP reform. Yeah. I very much believe it should be marginally harder to change the Constitution, and statutes that are passed by the public should be protected from the legislature for a period of time. I think both those things make total common sense. Yeah. However, this plan is so idiotic, it has no chance of passing. It basically creates two different systems, one for politicians, one for the public. I can't imagine what the people that came up with this were drinking, but I'd like a couple shots of it.
Well, and that's going to be on the ballot. I think this will come out in the next week or so. Woo! August 4th, I think, is when we vote on that. I mean, so basically, that ballot, that constitutional amendment you're talking about, reforms how we amend the Constitution, how we would amend the law by popular vote, and it would basically create the system where you have how many? It's based on congressional districts, right? Like you had to pass so many congressional districts.
It's so stupid. It's so damn dumb. It's going to fail by so much. I really hope that all the people involved in crafting this joke, I hope next time, I actually think this is a serious thing that needs to happen for the state.
Yeah.
I hope that when the serious people take over, they remember who was part of this joke and they don't even let them in the room.
Well, why did they do it then?
I'll tell you why. This is my own white trash hillbilly opinion.
Sure.
They did a stadium bill that blew up in their face. I mean, can you imagine? You did a bill for the Chiefs, you end up getting the Royals. I mean, it was like Wile E. Coyote.
You always trash the Royals on this podcast.
Well, the scoreboard in the standings trashed the Royals far more than I ever could. But the funny part is, it was like they went to the Acme special session store and bought a special session and blew up right in their face. So as that was blowing up, they wanted to get rid of Cleaver because Trump told them to.
Right.
I think this is one of the dumber things they've done, and they've done some dumb things. There will be another Democrat president, whether that's in 2.5 years or 6.5 years. There'll be another Democrat in the White House. The state of Missouri, Wesley Bell, I actually think is a good guy. I think he's a good congressman. I think he's a serious person. Mm-hmm. But he's a freshman.
Right.
Emmanuel Cleaver needed time to build seniority and connections and influence. So will Wesley Bell. I thought that you will need someone from the Democrat Party to call the White House when there's a Democrat president. Emmanuel Cleaver is a tremendous leader, has served this state so well, is a fighter for this district and for the state of Missouri. He's like Sam Graves. I think this is tantamount to when Sam Graves was in Congress. If the Democrats would have tried to draw him out, it would have been so stupid for the state of Missouri, for people from Poplar Bluff, from Webster County, not just from Tarkio. The Democrats would have been hurting the state to get rid of Sam Graves because he's that valuable. Emmanuel Cleaver's the same, and he's even more valuable because we don't have any other Democrats with any stature.
Yeah.
I think it's very detrimental to the state. They were doing this because they were told to. Every idea that's ever came from Washington, unless it was from Franklin County, sucks. They were doing the bidding of what they were told to do, and they wanted to mask this with something else.
Yeah.
So they threw in an IP reform, which was just an idiotic, I don't even know who came up with this, but by God, what a moron. It has no hope of passing. It shouldn't pass. Mm-hmm. I think the current system's so bad, I may vote for it because both suck, and this one might suck a little less, but it has no hope of passing, and it shouldn't pass.
So and you talk about the congressional seats being realigned and those maps being redrawn. There's a referendum sitting at the Secretary of State's office to void that. I mean, what do you think is going to happen with that referendum?
I think Denny Hoskins has strategically drug his feet.
Yep.
And I have a regard for Denny Hoskins, and also he did this. Denny Hoskins would not deny doing this. Denny Hoskins was very partisan. The same Democrats that throw rocks at him thought Jason Kander did a good job.
Yeah.
So
and he was very partisan too.
I watched Jay Ashcroft became more partisan. I watched Jay Ashcroft. I watched this. I went to court on the right to work thing. He stood up and testified and ticked off a lot of people. He dug his heels in and did what he thought was right. It was one of the last times I've seen a Secretary of State do what they thought was right over partisanship. Now, I think Denny thinks he's doing what's right by doing what the president wants. Mm-hmm. I think Denny would be proud to tell you he was very partisan, drug his feet strategically, not certifying these. I think the election will be fought in the new maps. I think the referendum will go to the ballot. The people will say, don't do this. And you know what I think they're going to do?
What?
They'll go redraw them again. I just think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, and I guess so that's.
And I think also if there's $4 gas, it doesn't matter what you do. The Democrats are going to have a great year and take the House of Representatives and torment President Trump. And the funny part is, if the president would just leave Iran alone, it would be far better than screwing with all these districts. But I will defend what Denny's doing with this. I watch these Democrats go, oh, this is a democracy, right? The Democrats now are a big fan of democracy, right? Like they're the only ones. And there's, democracy. And then you look at Illinois, and they're like, and you look at Massachusetts, you look at Maryland. The Democrats were the innovators of this gerrymandering BS. They have bastardized the system far worse. The Republicans are late to the party on screwing democracy. The truth is, it's been a gangbang on democracy, and Democrats were first in line.
But haven't Democrats, and I know this was something that was pushed here in this state.
Are you going to defend that Illinois map? Because I want to hear it.
I am not going to defend the
Illinois.
I'm so
interested in this, folks. He's going to defend that bullshit.
I am not going to defend the Illinois map. I am going to defend the fact that there were these processes to create independent commissions, to look at data-based map. We had Clean Missouri.
It was a plot by now Clean Missouri did not do the federal ones. It was a state one.
Oh, okay.
Because they didn't think they get through federal court. No, look, there's been a gangbang on democracy.
Yeah.
Democrats got there first.
Okay.
Republicans showed up for the gangbang late, and they've had a great time with it.
But even like you're talking about state or federal, you are talking about the fact there has been efforts to reform and move away from gerrymandering, even at the state level, and Democrats have done that to their detriment in some states.
Democrats have a problem in this state for two reasons. St.
Just
Louis.
two?
Well, for districts, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Democrats generally live in compact areas. Republicans live in spread out areas, which, for drawing maps, is a big advantage to the folks that live spread out.
Yeah.
And number two, their population bases are right on the state line of Illinois and Kansas.
Yeah.
The truth is, to draw a district, you want to come in and get 60% of your folks and feather out and get 40% of the folks that don't vote with you.
Right.
However it is, which is impossible to do when you compacted right on the state lines. It's a geography problem and it's a population density problem. Democrats are disadvantaged in the gerrymandering fight in many ways because of that. Now, when you bust it out into congressional districts, it is true everywhere. It is more true in Missouri because of our geographics. Geography. If Democrats at the state level complain about gerrymandering, it's geography that screwed you. The Republicans a little bit of a tailwind. I'll tell you what will be the thing. Boone County has its own seat now, right?
Yep.
They've elected a fantastic state senator in Stephen Weber.
Yep.
They could not have done better. The truth is, Boone County probably grows faster than the state average, and they can bust it up. That'll be gerrymandering. When they bust Boone County up to try to have a Republican seat there and get rid of Stephen Weber. The Democrats have elected one of the finest state senators we have out of Boone County in Stephen Weber. He's a credit to that institution, and that's gerrymandering.
Yeah.
The rest of this, a lot of it's just geography.
Yeah, when you look at like places like in Southwest Missouri or Northern Missouri, there's no map you could draw.
Well, right. The truth is, they did draw a map that Democrats can compete in. The truth is, you could have drawn Greene County in a way that Betsy Fogel couldn't win.
Split it in half, right?
The fact of the matter is, there might be there's maybe two or three ways to draw that map, and I'm talking cutting neighborhoods out. We're getting real finite.
Sure.
The map Betsy Fogel runs in is by far the best map for a Democrat. Now, you could call that gerrymander if you want to. I call it keeping.
It's Springfield. It's just, for people who don't know, it's just Springfield.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. I think it's a fair map. I think the current state Senate map, both sides could argue for a little more here and there. I think it's generally a fair map. I think that the Democrats did not lose John Rizzo's seat in Independence because of gerrymandering. They lost it because they can't tell you how many genders there are. They lost it because they've been protesting police and goofy stuff like that. It is not, Democrats didn't lose Independence because of gerrymandering. That's Ronnie DePasco's seat. That's Victor Callahan's seat. Yeah. That's John Rizzo's seat. They had no problem winning it. Those are pro-gun, pro-life folks.
Yeah.
The people in Independence haven't changed. Donald Trump is very popular in Independence, far more popular than he is in Lee Summit, frankly. The Democrats did not lose John Rizzo, Victor Callahan, Ronnie DePasco's Senate seat because of redistricting, whatever they want to say. They lost it because they don't speak to those folks anymore.
Well, Ronnie DePasco, may you rest in peace, he was running in a time where I believe that conservative Democrats were more predominant in Missouri.
Sure.
And I have to believe some of that was neutralized by the fact that the Republicans and talk radio, cable news have done a job of nationalizing politics. And so now you see a Democrat and they get lumped in with...
I disagree. You know what's nationalized politics? This right here.
Well,
you get all your information from here.
Right.
National politics has the most money.
I like that picture, Hulk Rule.
Oh yeah, that's my son Gussie with his Hulk rules. He's doing the...
Sorry. That just distracted me for a second.
The truth is that your phone did. You get your national news, all
sure.
you get now.
Yeah.
Your Facebook feed, all that is nationalized.
Yeah.
Republicans nationalize it some with social issues, but I think the phone did more to nationalize elections. And I would say in Democrat states, the same is true.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't think it was talk radio. It's just, I think the nationalizing of elections was from a narrowing of where you get your information from. Also, you now have different outlets. If you want to if you like to be told you're right, you can find a cable TV network to tell you you're right.
It's horrible. I would say that when I say nationalizing politics, I believe that they have done that on. When you go to Illinois, you hear MSNBC or MS Now or whatever it is talking points. Yep. You hear Fox News talking points here, and it has become more it's become more siloed because you do have people who have certain podcasts they listen to, they read certain websites online, and it's just. But I mean, at the same time, then I think about that, and I know I'm kind of all over the place on this, but we used to have partisan newspapers, right?
We still do.
We still have partisan.
You ever read the Post-Dispatch?
Well, I mean, they were more intentionally partisan, I guess I would say.
You're saying they're just lucky now? Or you read the Kansas City Star?
Yeah, I think there's objectivity there.
Oh, here's the thing.
Okay.
I'm in the media. I'm gonna take you behind.
Okay,
I'm gonna give you my white trash version of what happens behind the curtain.
Okay.
There's liberal bias, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
You set out an interesting situation because you have some activists and you have some business people and you have some engineers, and the truth is engineers are generally Republicans.
Yes.
Their brain is wired a way that Republicans speak to and works.
Yeah.
Creative types like reporters are generally liberal. It's just a fact.
Management is also generally more conservative, though. And I think that's the tension.
I'll disagree with that because here's the thing. Like Tony Messenger, right? Who I thought was a very good reporter when he was reporting. When he was on the ground here, he started at Columbia, then he did Springfield, then he did the Post. I thought Tony Messenger was an excellent reporter. Did he have a liberal bias? Of course he did. Mm-hmm. I can't imagine anybody would seriously say that they were surprised. And here's how you tell. Yeah. When he went to writing columns of his opinions, was anybody surprised he was extremely liberal? Were you as a person? And I thought Tony Messenger's columns, he never lied. Yeah. When he reported, he never lied. He had a liberal bias. Well, I mean, when he went to writing columns, were you surprised that, oh my God, he's a left-wing Democrat?
Well, I guess I don't know because
I was not surprised.
When I met him, he was in Springfield, and I was running for state representative, and he was very active and very good about like sitting down and having coffee with people.
Very good.
I mean, I'm still friends with him. I mean, I guess
his columns about the judicial system profiting off poor people and taking advantage of them deserved a Pulitzer Prize.
Oh, it's incredible.
I'd be honest with you. You know, he's more critical of me now. I tend to I try to view things. Look, being critical of me usually means you have good judgment. But I actually will tell you this. I've read every one of his columns. I'm a Post-Dispatch subscriber, by the way. Now, a lot of that's for Derek Gould. I'm not going to lie, the guy that covers the Cardinals. But I'm going to be honest with you. I read all of his columns. I thought they were fantastic. I think he actually changed some things. Yeah. He shed some light on some things. When he was a reporter, he hadn't been being so accessible and open, I thought was so smart. Yeah. It made him so much better. I wish he was still a reporter. I thought he was better at that. I think really what he did when he was writing the columns that won him the prize was reporting in a column.
I mean, I do think there is a lot of reporting because he just did an article back in April, and this will kind of be a good segue into solar stuff. He wrote a thing about a suburb in St. Louis trying to ban solar. And he and I talked about they're trying to ban solar like in their ordinances.
Why?
Because they don't like how they look. I mean, they were very clear about, like they said, it was an aesthetic issue.
Man, these suburban people, don't property rights matter? I guess they just don't matter to them.
Well, more about, I mean, and Tony was talking to people on the council. He was talking to the activists who were like trying to fight against this.
Classic. That's when he's at his best. Probably they're all at their best when they're talking to people.
And I think that did have an influence on how that turned out. I mean, I think that city is still going to try to keep banning it, but it did turn a vote against this ordinance, which is great. And I mean,
but I go back to just because you have a liberal bias doesn't mean you're lying. I do not believe most professional journalists lie in their columns. Or their reporting. Their reporting is slanted to be more liberal. And I think that's just a fact.
You think reporters should say how they vote?
Again, James, look in my soul. When Kevin McDermott went from reporting to writing columns, were you surprised he's a socialist? Were you surprised?
Is he a socialist?
I'm asking you the question, were you surprised?
I guess I am not surprised.
You don't have to tell me how Tony Messenger voted. When he started writing columns telling me how he voted, I already knew. People aren't stupid. I'll tell you their problem. Here's their problem.
But I was on KY3 in the late 2000s, and there were a lot of Republicans reporting there.
Here's the problem with news, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Stop telling people bullshit that you're not biased. Everyone has a bias. You have a bias. I have a bias.
Right.
Kelton has a bias. Everyone watching this has a bias. Stop telling me bullshit. Because here's the problem. When you tell me, I'm unbiased, I don't have any views, then I think you're lying to me. So then I question what you're telling me. If you just open up and said, our newspaper line on solar is we're for solar.
Yeah.
Okay, then I know that. Then I inherently trust you because you're being upfront with me. You're being real. Social media has torn down all the bullshit. Be real with people.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with news. Be real. Fox News is biased toward Republicans. They are. MSNBC is biased towards left-wing Democrats. MSNBC will tell you there's 52 genders. Fox will tell you there are 2. You can decide who's right or wrong. But be upfront about it. Don't lie.
Yeah, right.
Now I actually want to hear why you think there's 17 genders, because you're not BSing me.
Yeah.
I think that's the key. It's not that. Trust me. When all these people go start writing columns, and they all happen to be liberal, no one's surprised because they already knew.
Right.
So don't tell me you're not biased. Of course you are. We all are. Open the kimono. Open up and say, this is who I am. I'll tell you, James, I'm a white trash hillbilly raised in a trailer in West Butler County. I have all the views you think I probably have. But over time, I've learned a lot. And you know why I've learned a lot? I sit down with people. I'm open. I'm honest who I am. And then I listen to their story. I listen to their perspective. And if they come and tell me, oh, I'm not biased, I'm like, oh, God, I got to get out of here. But you sit down and have beer with me. Tony has coffee. I have alcohol.
Yeah.
But the fact is, I've learned so much from Bruce Franks, Jamil and Nasheed about life that I didn't know, because I've never lived their life really close to it.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot from Mallory Schwartz, a lot of things I didn't know. But they didn't start off preaching at me or they're real. And when you're real, you could bullshit people back in the day much easier than you can today. People want real, and if you're not real, they click.
Yeah. Well, I think that's certainly I think there's something to be said that people do like personality. And you can't
be real.
That's right. You got to be real.
Why like Donald Trump? He's real. He called when he said Jeb Bush was a wuss. I'm like, you know what? Jeb Bush does look like a wuss. When he said crazy Rand Paul, I'm like, that guy does look crazy to me. Little Marco, he is kind of short. That's real. Who would make that up? Well, that's what people like about Trump. With Trump, I get really tired of Trump. Like when he invades Iran for no reason and then runs my gas price up. I don't care about any of them. I wish the next president would just take a map, a marker, and draw the Middle East out. And not touch it. Don't spend any money.
You could do that by focusing on domestic energy production.
Exactly. I think that's exactly right. I think all of your stuff, all the drilling, all of it, and just take every map in the White House and put a post-it over the Middle East. Yeah. That's the best president. But then he's sitting with the Emperor of Japan, right? And the Emperor and the Japanese media says, "Why didn't you tell your allies about the bombing?" And he goes, "You mean you're going to lecture me about surprise attacks?" And I'm like, that's hilarious. And I saw, and so
it's pretty funny.
In my office, I have seen. If you walk in my office right now, I have CNN up, right?
Yeah.
Because I think CNN is probably the closest thing to real news you're going to get. Is it left bias? Of course it is. But I think it's the closest thing to something you can watch that's actually kind of real, and I like it. Plus, I actually do watch things I disagree with more than things I agree with, because I already know what I think. Yeah. So I'm in my office. It had world leaders aghast at president's remarks. Do you think there's anyone in Russellville, Missouri, that voted for Donald Trump that was aghast by his comments? They thought it was hilarious. They probably shared it with their friends on Facebook.
Right.
And that's where the disconnect is. When you're real, people will give you, the people of this state have gave me a very wide berth to do a lot of questionable bullshit. And I think the reason they have is because I'm real. I told you I thought Eric Greitens was very bad for this state.
Yeah.
And I thought just saying he was too conservative, like the Post remedy for this, was just helping him. You had to get in the mud and fight where he was.
Right.
And I did some things that were highly, and I don't question all the carping and pearl clutching the media did about me. I get it. Reasonable people could question what I did. I thought it was right, and I'd do it again.
Yeah.
And that's as real as I can be. I understand their beef. I knew it would come.
Yeah.
I get it. But I'm not going to tell you I'm sorry, because I'd do it again.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to be more real.
Well, yeah, it is interesting, because and I also think, like, one of the things that's good about what you're doing with the Missouri Times and with Jefferson City Tribune is I do not think there's enough media attention of Jefferson City.
Yep, I agree.
And I know no one buys newspapers anymore. Ad revenues are down. It's tough to be in the news.
Tough.
I mean, and I don't know what the solution to that is.
Work harder.
But you got to have money to work.
You work harder, you get money.
If people will buy your product.
I'm going to tell you a story. I sat in a room when we first started this. I love Rod Jetton, my business partner at the time. He wanted to join the Capital News Association.
Yeah.
It's one thing I didn't want to do because I didn't really see any value in it. So we go sit in this room, and it's the one time these people have power. So they're so thrilled with them, all the reporters. Bob Priddy, they're just giving us all these lectures about how this is going to fail, it'll never work, this is not going to happen. And I'm like, God, how long do I have to sit here and listen to this crap? These dinosaurs. Bob Priddy finally said, okay, I'm voting for him. I've got to go. This is not profitable.
Yeah.
Walked out. Then who's going to tell Bob Priddy he was wrong?
Right.
I won't to this day. But I had to sit there for half an hour, and they'll tell us how you're going to fail, it'll never work, and all this. And yes, if you do it the way they do it, it will fail like they fail. It will.
Yeah.
You got to do it different.
Yeah.
And we're doing it different, and I've been told we're going to fail every time, and good. I mean, look, we have failed at things. No question. Mm-hmm. We innovate, we try. It's like taking the standings out of the paper. Thought that was good cost savings. Our subscribers hated it. I had to write an editor and said, my bad.
Yeah.
I screwed it up.
Yeah.
We're changing it. We're going back.
Yeah.
If you're not in the media, if you're not innovating enough to fail at some stuff, you're not innovating enough. And so, yeah, it's tough, but you work harder. You don't hear me whine. You don't hear me complain. I was raised in a trailer. We're going to work hard, and then if that don't work, we're going to work harder.
Yeah.
And if you want to work here, you're going to bust your ass. And if we're not finding success, you're going to bust your ass harder. Yeah. And everything you see in this room was bought by busting our ass.
It's a great studio. I mean, I think
it's all paid for, and it all came from ass busting.
Yeah. I mean, I do think that people need to know what's.
Do you think those reporters' mentality is I'm waking up early today before the alarm to bust my ass?
I don't know.
Do you think all the people that lectured me in that room thought of a hard-working day?
There are a lot of hard-working reporters.
I'm not saying there's not. I'm saying the people that lectured me, their idea, I guarantee you, they ain't up when I'm up, and I guarantee you they're sleeping when I'm still working.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's like why ReNew Missouri has worked.
Let me just help you out. Faughn ain't related to anybody rich, right?
Yeah, me neither.
I had an uncle once that was an accountant who would be the rich person in our family.
Yeah.
There ain't no family money there.
Yeah.
If we got it, we worked for it. There's no entitlement.
Yeah.
We are not elitist. And I think about that every so often and start laughing about how they were very confident that we'd fail. And I'm like, well, you don't understand how hard we're going to work. And, and buying the news Tribune, everybody told me we're going to fail at that too. And we very well may. Hell, we might fail. But it ain't going to be for lack of hard work.
Right. Yeah.
It ain't going to be no lazing around.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, yeah, and I think because I think, you know, and you were one of the few, there weren't a lot of people talking about like all the solar stuff that was going on this session. But you were talking about it.
I really thought there are times that I've seen, and with innovation and technology, like the sector you're really in is the technology sector, in my opinion. Yeah. As much as it's energy, it's technology.
Sure.
I thought you were planting seeds that would grow trees that you'd never sit under the shade of. But I watched the combination of the work you did and the work property rights advocates have done come together. And this session, the House is going to do whatever. I mean, it's not really, it's not made to be that serious of an institution.
Yeah.
But I watched people stand up to the most influential pro tem since Ron Richard.
Yeah.
When the president pro tem wants something, sometimes it doesn't happen, but the Senate went from the pro tem, we're going to oppose them, to now they did whatever she said. She was the most influential pro tem since Ron. I can't imagine anybody would even argue with that.
Right.
And she hated a solar farm for some reason.
Oh, I know.
Hated it.
Yeah.
She had her reasons, right? She's a serious. Cindy O'Loughlin didn't get to become the most influential pro tem by being unserious. She's
we didn't take it lightly, I can tell you that.
Exactly. No, you did. But if you hadn't done the work you'd been doing, that defense isn't there.
Oh, sure.
You laid the foundation for something. You planted a seed, and that tree had to grow. And I didn't know it. I didn't really understand until it was tested that the seed you had planted had grown as much as it had.
Yeah.
It had been so. You had built an amazing foundation for something that's worked.
Well, the industry is stronger than it has been. The advocacy is stronger than it has been. There's a lot of people who understand
It's your damn land.
Yeah.
Now I do have some heart for if you live in a place that has zoning. Number one, why would you? God, that sounds awful. Ain't nobody's business what you do with your land. I believe in the castle doctrine.
Yeah.
It's my land, and if you don't come on it, I ain't going to shoot you.
Right.
And you ain't got to worry about what's on my land. You worry about your land.
Yeah.
And if you want to control my land, you buy it.
Yeah.
Everything I have, folks, everything I have here is for sale. This building, these cameras, this stage, which if you look at it close, you can tell we made it ourselves, because that's how this stage here is made out of some plexiglass I got on sale at a refuge market in Hannibal. And then this is all HVAC trim, and these are some TVs that were on sale at Sam's Club. But I'm going to tell you, I respected so much the foundation you laid and the success you had. The fact they didn't even bring the bill up. They just kind of talked about it once.
Yeah.
was you deserve a lot of credit for that, man. Well, you do.
Yeah, it was really kind of an existential concern. I mean, I was really believed.
Okay, what does existential mean? I hear people say that.
I mean, I just thought it was going to be the end of the solar industry.
That's what they were trying.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was like whether we exist or not.
Yes.
And I was out there because I saw Senator O'Loughlin's Facebook messages back last summer.
And she's a serious player. She's,
yeah.
And every other thing she's told them to do, they've said, yes, ma'am, how fast?
We knew it then. We started talking to people saying, like, this is what she's talking about. This is what she's going to do. She's absolutely going to file this. She says it's going to be her priority. You need to be ready and you need to be serious and take it seriously. And to their credit, well, a lot of people said, like, oh, yeah, we'll see. But then
they were serious.
They were serious.
Here's my concern for you. All right?
Yeah.
You have a huge crowning victory. You had to be high-fiving when session adjourned. If you weren't, you should have been.
We were relieved.
You should have been. It was a culmination of a lot of hard work, not just in the session. This was a culmination of the work you've done for years building this up. But I'll tell you, here's my concern for solar.
Yeah.
You have this huge victory.
Yep.
You think, okay, that's over now.
Oh, no.
Wrong.
I don't think that.
Wrong. I almost think sometimes it's why it's hard to, you don't see very many repeat Super Bowl winners, right?
No.
We've learned that as Chiefs fans. It's very hard to repeat, right?
Yes, it is.
You have that big victory. You have to work so hard to get it. The letdown.
Yeah.
I think the other side isn't done.
I already know like who is running in primaries, who want to push a moratorium still, or will push things that are prohibitive that are in effect a moratorium. And so I think what we've got to keep doing is saying, because I do believe that there should be some statewide standards. I think there should be some things that say like these are setbacks. You should have decommissioning bonds. You should be able to have. I mean, I think there are some states that have had success in saying, okay, we're not going to divvy this out among 114 counties, because that creates a lot of uncertainty for an industry.
So, to me, if you live in a place with zoning, and somebody wants to put a solar farm in, they bought that land with zoning, right?
Yep.
So zoning was factored in the purchase price of that land, whether that helped it or didn't. Up to you and the realtor and all that stuff. If you buy that land and you don't want to solar, and you buy land in a zoned area that has zoning, I absolutely respect you going to your local planning and zoning and saying, I don't want this. That's the rules.
Right.
But to take places that don't have that, where you buy your land thinking it's my damn land, stay off it, and I don't shoot you, put up a fence, buy the land. I'm going to tell this story. In southeast Missouri, in Stoddard County, Charlie Cruz told me this story. There was a solar farm wanting to go in. The guy it was big, a big one. He was going to lease a chunk of his land because his son didn't want it, and he couldn't afford to hire enough people. But if he leased his land, he'd keep the farm. Yeah. His sons didn't want to farm. Farming's hard work, Media is bullshit. I mean, farming's hard work. So what happened? He had a meeting in a local elementary school cafeteria, and all these guys like, we don't want this, and he's like, I'm sorry, this is what I have to do. And so one of the guys in the back of the room who hadn't said anything said, what are you selling it for if you don't mind me asking? And he told him. This is not a guy who was a bad community actor. He was a good guy. And he said, okay, what if we bought it for that price? He said, are you willing to sell for that price? And he goes, well, yeah. This is the price I think is fair. He goes, now, if we offer you that same price, would you sell it to us? Not go back and run us up. Would you sell it to us? And he goes, yes. They shook hands like people in southeast Missouri do, and they bought the land. I thought that was the most American patriotic story. It may not be what your guys want to hear.
I mean, but
the truth is, that's how life should work. That's how America works.
I get frustrated when I hear people say, I don't like that it's going to change my view. You don't pay for that view. Like when it's someone else's property, right?
Okay, but they did pay for the view.
They paid for their property.
Yeah. And they're going to have a crop on it. So solar. I think solar technology is great. I think everything we can do to get every way to power this phone and these lights that doesn't have to rely on crazy Muslim terrorists, I think is a wonderful idea. I think solar is a patriotic endeavor if you want the truth. However, I think that guy said, this is a fair price for my land. These folks want to buy it. I'm going to sell it to them because this is America. These folks said, we'd rather you not. Would you sell it to us for the same price? He said, I'd rather sell to you. It's his land. That may not be what the solar industry wants to hear. That is how you don't go to the government and say, let's turn this into China or Cuba.
Right.
You say, hey, if you think it's a fair price, if we match it, would you rather sell to us? He said, yes, deal. They shook hands like men. They sold it. There's not a solar farm there. And I think that is a very capitalist American story. Now, on the other hand, if they'd offered him $1 less and he sold it to them, that's another great American capitalist story.
Sure. Yeah.
I just think that the people that whine, I hear none of them getting in their wallet.
Oh no.
I hear no of the whiners at this stuff say, here's what I'll buy it.
Yeah. Right.
Because they don't want to bust their ass hard enough.
Right.
They ain't up before the alarm, and they ain't working when other people are sleeping.
Yeah.
They're up, they sleep, they hit snooze a few times, and they go to bed early, and they get on Facebook and whine. And I have no respect for that.
Yeah, Facebook is exhausting on that stuff. And because coming from a farming background, I come from a farming background, from a county that has voted down zoning 3 times.
Hell yes. The hell you want the government?
And now they're mad. Now people there are mad about data centers. I'm not really sure.
I think if you vote in zoning, you should offer to buy the property of folks you are. I thought the best amendment. James had this bill so licked it never even got to this, but there was an amendment a mutual friend of ours had that said if you're going to outlaw people selling their land for any reason, the state has to offer to buy their land.
Yeah.
The $27 billion fiscal note. I thought it was outstanding. It's what if the government's going to pick on you, they should buy your land.
Yeah. Look.
You have to have zoning in the city of St. Louis. I get that.
Yeah.
To me, it's hard to convince me the right place for a data center is the city of St. Louis.
There's no transmission lines.
It's hard to convince me that the wrong place for a data center isn't New Florence.
Right.
And I think this is my prediction. They're going to build a statue to Ryan Post in 5 years from now. I don't know if he's going to win his election in 3 or 4 weeks, but once the first property tax bill gets paid, they're going to build a statue.
A lot of money is going to come into Montgomery County for that.
And a lot
of money.
I think they're even going to be able to lower property so many great. The truth is with a lot of these projects, you got to get one up and going.
Yeah.
Like we went to, is it Queen City, just south of Lancaster.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
You go to that school, it's a Taj Mahal. It's one of the nicest rural schools ever. Now it is true that you do hear a whoosh on some days if you're close enough to a windmill. and poor you, right? Get you some headphones or
But that education that those kids are going to receive there
is
going to be top notch.
The crown jewel of that county.
Yeah.
They love it. They appreciate it. And the fact of the matter is that's paid for by those windmills. And to me, you go into a rundown school and they can't pay the teachers enough to keep them. I'm sorry you have to hear a whoosh. But by God, if I lived in Queen City, the
trade-off is worth it.
You want to get smacked at a bar, start talking down windmills because my kid will go to a great school and it'd be because of that windmill.
Yeah, and I think there is
Put
a
some
lot
cotton
of
in your ears, you don't hear whoosh.
I think there's a lot of local benefit to clean energy siting, and I really am trying to emphasize that there is economic benefit to landowners, to county governments.
I got to be honest with you, James. I don't give a damn about the environment, and I know a lot of your people do, and it's a big
I
part
do,
of your, I know you do, and I love it for you.
Yeah.
I generally want a good environment, right? I generally am. Well, I'd rather have a clean or dirty environment. I'd rather clean, but that's not why I support solar. It doesn't have really is not even on the list.
Doesn't need to be.
It's because it's your damn land.
Yep.
It's good investment for this state. It's terrific payoff back to schools and infrastructure. And it keeps us, every one of these lights, this camera, the phone you're watching this on, everything that can be powered by something besides a crazy Muslim terrorist is a wonderful thing for this country and my family.
Yeah.
And also, I'd rather have a clean environment, but I actually don't give a damn if you want the truth.
Okay.
I support you for those reasons.
Well, because you don't have to worry about the environment because there's all these other reasons.
Now, the truth is, if the environment was all messed up, I'd probably be like, oh my God, I'm for the clean. I get it. I'd rather have a clean environment. Yeah. But my reasons for supporting what you do has very little to do with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, there are a lot, domestic energy income, revenue coming into the state.
When the government starts telling you what you can do with your land, they will not stop. They will not stop.
Yeah.
Everybody's got something they want you to do or not do with your land that they don't want to pay for, so they run to the government, they get on their Facebook and whine and bitch. I will just tell you, I promise you, when the government starts telling you what to do with your land, they will not be done.
Yeah.
If you trust the government, lean in on this stuff.
Yeah.
And if you trust the government, you're a fool. And I got something to sell you if you trust the government.
Well, I know you've been very generous with your time. Thank you for being on here. Is there anything you want to pitch to our 10 listeners?
Yes, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to pitch something right to the camera.
Yeah.
If you're watching this, it means you're a member of James' organization. And I have always told you I thought they do a great job advocating for you at the state capitol, at the Public Service Commission, on and on. But I'm going to tell you, you don't have to take my word for it anymore. You don't have to listen to his pitch. The bill that would have ended solar didn't even come up. It came up for an hour of conversation with a guy that was quitting. It was never seriously done. And that's raw evidence, facts. And it was not just the effort that happened the 5 months of session. It was the effort that happened the 5 months of session built on the years of work that your group has done. And I congratulate folks here. You had a victory for schools, for infrastructure, for property rights, and for solar. And I will pitch folks, if you're a member, you didn't just get your money's worth this year. Nobody could argue you got your money's worth being a members coalition this year.
Yeah.
It was this year was what it was because of all the years you spent building that foundation. And as a friend of yours, it made my heart full to see your work. Nobody can deny the work you've done and the success you had, because it's not even, you didn't even have a vote. You didn't even really have a filibuster. You had an hour comedy session about this bill that was the most influential president pro tem since Ron Richards' top priority. Again, nobody could argue what a tremendous session you had this year. But the fact is, you only had that session because of the years of work you put in. And I congratulate you and your members and, scoreboard.
Thank you. And I should remind everyone, because this is my pitch before we leave, and thank you, Scott, for everything you said and for everything you do. 20th anniversary for ReNew Missouri. We're going to have it's 20 years since 2006. We are going to be having an event on July 30th at Logboat Brewery in Columbia.
Oh, nice.
Free drinks.
Can't beat that.
For the first, 1,000 people. I don't know how people are going to be there for that.
When is it now?
July 30th from 5 to 7:30. And Logboat is actually right next to our offices, so you can check out our offices in Columbia. We would love for you to come. We'd love to see you. We are going to have
I would love to be there. I am taking Gussie to SummerSlam in Minneapolis. Kelton?
Oh, that's nice.
Kelton's from Columbia. You going to go? July 30th?
Yeah.
Free beer.
Free beer.
Logboat.
You sold him.
All right. That makes 3 of us that'll be there. So,
well, send me stuff we'll put on the calendar. We'll come do a story about it.
Oh, yeah.
It's an exciting thing. I apologize. I've actually, when you said that date, it hit me for a minute, but I was like, I bought the tickets, which are not cheap.
It's a rough time to do. I guess people are on vacation. They're out of town.
There's never a good time.
There's never a good time to do it, though. So it's like right before I go on vacation for a week with my kids. So, yeah.
Well, we're going to watch Brock Lesnar fight in Minneapolis. But
that
if I
sounds
didn't,
fun.
I'd be there. We'll have a great time. Thank you so much for having me on.
Hey, Scott, thank you. And thank you all for listening and watching. If you like what you heard, please subscribe to us on all major social media platforms. Leave a review that helps amplify our message, and post us on your social media. On behalf of ReNew Missouri, this is James Owen, wishing you a good day and an even better tomorrow. Thanks again.